Arise, minions, and welcome to unMadeGaming. We are here for episode 4 of Atari Twilight 88 called Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. I'm sure it's not ominous, and that will be fine. Thank you for joining us. If you like what we do here and you want to support the channel, check out the Patreon link down below. The second best way is to check out the subscribe link down below and join us in the Discord and be a part of the conversation. And you will notice in the bottom left-hand corner, there is the corruption bar. That bar serves two purposes. One is when that bar fills, Greg gets to do whatever the hell he wants to us wonderful cherubs that you don't want to hurt at all. And two, more importantly, every single dollar that goes into that pot goes back to these wonderful, beautiful, amazing faces you see here before you. That being said, I'm done shilling. Greg, please take us to the 80s.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a little Tuesday nights as we dive back into 1988 and Atari Twilight, powered by Free League's Tales from the Loop. Can't wait to get into all of this, but before we do any of that, we need our music, because this is the 80s. Even though it's the 80s that never was, it is our 80s, and it's still filled with music. So if you would, please call up the Spotify playlist, and just, you don't have to turn it up to a 10, a little background music, a little The Outfield, Your Love. When last we left Garrett, it was Saturday, October 8th, 1988. Right now, it is Tuesday, October 11th, 1988. A light, cold rain has been falling all day, leaving the asphalt dark and shiny, giving it a clean look, a look of rebirth, perhaps. Windshield wipers wave as the cars move through the small town, winning their battle with the rain, one swipe at a time. Umbrellas dot the sidewalks, people running to and fro, getting out of the frigid rain. Chief Ted Simmons walks Main Street in his foul weather gear, carrying several sheets in his gloved hand. Each of these sheets is laminated and glossy, giving it a measure of protection from these elements. The police chief moves to the closest telephone pole and begins to hammer one of the sheets into the wood. Stepping back, Chief Simmons leaves the interim behind, removed from his title after he was promoted following the atrocities of his predecessor, Chief Rugen. But this, as he looks at the sheet, is the first truly awful thing to happen to him since he has risen to the heights of the Garrett PD. As he pulls back and looks at the telephone pole, he sees a sheet that says, "Missing, Veronica Kirkshaw," and there is a picture of the senior at Braddock High School. Beneath, it says, "Any information about her whereabouts, please contact the police immediately." And as the rain drips down his covered cap, he shakes his head and stares at both this telephone pole and the rest on Main Street that are all bearing the same missing and the likeness of Veronica Kirkshaw. Her Volkswagen Rabbit found in a state of severe disrepair. But again, the student herself not found. It last seen Friday night, this being Tuesday afternoon. The entire city is in a state of heightened alert and in some cases panic. And as Police Chief Ted Simmons looks, he hears from behind him, "We'll find her, Teddy." Simmons turns around, not hearing anyone approach, and he sees Main Street Jimmy, the only member of the homeless community here at Garrett, staring out at him from the nearest alley. His hair is plastered to his head, and his one blue eye and one brown eye seem to hold the same smile as his lips, slight, hopeful. "I hope so, Jim. I hope so. Let me know if you see anything strange, okay?" And the homeless man begins to laugh maniacally. "Strange? It might take a while, Teddy." The chief looks at him oddly, smiles though, offers a short laugh himself, and then says, let's get out of the weather. Maybe get a cup of coffee. Jimmy looks up from his cackling, his eyes a bit wet. Yeah, you sure you want to be seen with me, Chief? Chief moves closer to the homeless man. Hell yes, Jim. You're Congressional Medal of Honor winner. Should be asking you if you want to be seen with me. Jimmy's face darkens. No one wins that kind of medal, Teddy. Chief Simmons nods. So, chatting you? Jimmy's head snaps up. No, not there, not, pings. Sure, Jim. Pings, that sounds perfect. As they walk towards Ping's fine Chinese cuisine, our camera pulls back up to bird's eye view or laser beak eye view, revealing every telephone pole that bears the likeness of Veronica Kirkshaw. Welcome back to Garrett, Maryland. Meta. Let's do this. Everybody cue up King of Pain, which is the last song in our Spotify playlist.
That's the most terrifying intro. Let's do this.
We were at Tuesday, October 11th, 1988. I would like to welcome you to Monday, August 15th, 1983. On a small rise outside of Garrett, Maryland, with a hilltop that's only about 15 feet wide, enough for one or two people to sit upon or pitch a tent or a campfire. There's a boombox beside said campfire, and we see a cassette inside spooling from one reel to the other, written across it, 1969. A handsome man with a military haircut, high and tight, looks down the log beside him at his 10-year-old daughter. So, 14 years ago today, I drove your granddad's motorcycle 450 miles to New York State in a little place called Yasker's Farm. And for 3 days, a magical kingdom existed where ideas and equality might have had a chance to take root. Before you were born, it was my favorite time. It's where I met your mom. Shannon, you are 10 years old, and you are looking up at your dad. What do you do?
So at this point, how long have they been out there? Maybe like a day, or did they just get there?
Just got there in the afternoon, set up camp, and it's completely night out. In fact, I'll leave it up to you whether this is the first time Shannon has been outside away from her house when it's this late and this dark.
I think that it would be the first time that they were staying out that late. But they'd gone out before, and he had been teaching her how to do kind of basic survival stuff, like starting a fire and looking for, berries, anything really, in case something were to happen and they couldn't, stay in town. And I think that was his instincts kicking in from his military training and knowing maybe what he knows. And so I think that Shannon would be probably just finishing up, probably putting something on the fire for them to eat, maybe something on the pot, and just kind of tinkering with the campfire in front of them with a stick, just listening.
And as he finishes his tale, it just so happens that at that moment, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young begin to play on the cassette with its reel-to-reel going from one side to the other, indicating the year of 1969. So if everybody could go to your Spotify playlist, you'll find said song Woodstock, second from the bottom, by Crosby, Stills, Nash, and unfortunately Young. So he looks down and sees that you're kind of playing with the fire. What are you doing there?
I don't know. I think that Shannon's kind of at this point, she's not really sure why he told her the story, and tried to figure out like what his point is. Obviously she's 10, so she's kind of in her own little world, doesn't quite appreciate parental figures at that point. I don't think, not to that extent at least.
What he does though is he scoots off of kind of the fallen log that he was using as a stool and sits down beside you closer to the fire in the dirt and pulls out his own like stick, perhaps used for marshmallows, and begins to kind of do what you're doing with it. Pushing some of the burning sticks around, creating some sparks that come up. And as the song from Crosby, Stills and Nash play, he looks over and says, what's your favorite class at school? What do you like to do? And Shannon, your father is in and out of your life quite a bit, even at this age, because of his occupation. But no need for a role here. He's genuine in his interest.
Favorite class? I don't know. Kind of like them all. My teachers are pretty good. Science is fun.
Science. I was never really great at science, but I seem to be doing a lot of it now.
Really?
Well, I'm around it.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. What were you good at in school?
Well, drifting off, basically. And just at that moment in the song, the chorus kind of hits, "We are stardust." And he points to the boombox. See, that's what I did. We are stardust. We are golden. And he points to the sky and he says, you and I are both stardust, if we're to believe what they're singing, right?
I guess so. Stars are cool. So
you like science and carbon. They say that the carbon is in the stars. It's everywhere. And that means that we have a little bit of stars that make up us. Just like the song says, we're stardust.
Yeah.
And so he points up to the sky, but no place in particular. And he says, do you remember what my favorite star is? It's the shoulder of Orion. Can you find it?
And she starts looking up at the sky. And should I make a roll?
Investigate. Roll me an investigate.
All right. 2 successes.
You eyeball it exactly.
There it is.
Yeah. He looks down. Yes. It's perfect. It's even changed from where I should. Okay. Do you remember what the name of that star is? And you can roll me a comprehend.
2 successes. Meta don't know what the star name is.
Right. You will remember that star is named, it's actually Beetlejuice, but your dad says Beetlejuice.
Oh. Beetlejuice?
That's it. How do you remember that? I could. And he opens up his arms to kind of hug you like an appreciation. And
she hugs him.
Yeah, he takes her and pats her on the back, and they look up together at it. And he just kind of eyeballs that the whole time that he's talking to you. And he says, so if you like science, what do you want to be when you grow up?
I don't know. I mean, there's stuff that's in town, but I don't know if we're going to stay here, or maybe I'll work with you.
No. You can be whatever you want to be, but be something better than me.
Shannon is very confused by this because she kind of idolizes her father.
Do you know what I do?
Not really. I know you did military stuff, but I don't really know what that means.
And what is her as 10-year-old Shannon is talking? Is she making eye contact? Is she looking down? Is she, is she addressing him, with interest, or is this more of a kind of a shy conversation with her father?
Very shy. Because like when she gets in trouble, it's a very much a yes sir, no sir kind of situation. So she doesn't inquire too often with him. And I think it's like there's a shyness to trying to ask more personal questions because he isn't around as often.
Then what he would do is he would almost like kind of reach forward from his position, and guide her chin up until she was comfortably looking at him, and he'd smile and simply say, I you're right. I did used to do things with the army, with the military, but I protect people now. I protect people that need help staying safe.
So why can't I help you protect people? That's a good thing.
It is, but I do it so you don't have to.
Okay. What do you think I should do then?
I think you should rule the world if you can.
I don't think science lets me do that.
Well, I think you can if you wanted to, but you can be whatever it is you were meant to be. What do they say? Wish on a star?
Yeah.
He points up to Beetlejuice. That's a good one. It's a good wishing star.
Well, I know you keep other people safe, but who keeps you safe?
He smiles, and maybe that's your job.
Okay.
You keep me safe, he says, with just a bit of a grin on his face.
Yep. I will science people to leave you alone or something.
That sounds official. If you're going to science people to leave me alone, then I think I feel safer. And he points up at the star he calls Beetlejuice and says, well, let's make it official. Let's make it official. We can, if we have the same wish, then we can say it out loud to each other and we don't have to worry about it not coming true.
Okay.
So my wish is that you'll protect me. Is that
my
your wish?
Yeah. My wish is that I'll be able to.
All right. Then he points up and says, I give it to you. Make it official. Tell the star what you want to do.
I wish that I can always protect my dad.
Shannon, you see 1983 bleed away, and you see your father not looking older at all, really.
Mm-hmm.
He is shirtless, and you see him looking up at you as you pass through this crystal tube, your fingers sliding along the interior of the transparent surface. You see as he locks eyes with you, and this saber comes down, and you see it break the collar and shoulder bone as he screams, and you see him enraged as you are whisked through, and that wish reverberates in your head as you wake up in your bed in your room, drenched in sweat.
I think Shannon kind of lays and just looks up at the ceiling, like kind of takes a huge breath and just drops back onto her pillow and stares up in the darkness. I'm imagining since it's still raining, she's just listening to it to try to calm herself down. And probably after trying to get back to sleep, she's uncomfortable and goes and changes out of pajamas and goes and like just pulls on like sweatpants and like a sweatshirt, um, and starts kind of pacing around her room a bit, not really sure how to fully comprehend. And she has been trying to for a few days to understand what had happened, and she doesn't even know where to start. And she's thought about going back to where Dutch and Nee brought her, but she's almost scared to because she wants answers, but she's afraid of what those answers might be. And I think at this point, she decides, kind of having an internal monologue, like, I made a commitment to her dad. She made a commitment to her dad. And at that point, she throws her shoes on and kind of just walks out the door to her room and starts to go towards the house. And she's decided she's going to get into her father's office.
Okay. Well, we're going to stick here then. As soon as you go outside, roll me a move roll.
Okay. 2 successes.
You are able to expertly weave and kind of shift your gait as a cat comes out of nowhere. And even though it's kind of damp, its fur matted a bit alley cat style, comes out and weaves between your legs. You're never sure if your cat is trying to knock you down, trip you, kill you, or is trying to show affection. In fact, that's the eternal question of all cat owners.
Yes.
But this is your cat, and who is this? Since it's our first time, I think, on screen seeing.
Yes. Oh, after she kind of maneuvers, Kismet, seriously? Yeah. Well, do you want food? You've been outside forever and it's raining.
The eyes of this cat, which has these huge kind of gray black, almost like a tuft of like a mustache for a villain, with opposable thumbs. Kismet could twirl it if he wished, but as it kind of comes out, it's kind of damp. So what was normally like a smile with the tuft has kind of fallen a bit into a frown. But at the mention of food, one of these 7 words that any cat can understand, you begin.
Okay. And she kind of opens the door and goes over to the bowl and puts some food in there. Do we want to dine in style, or do you want just the basics?
With this, the wet cat looks up and one eyebrow kind of raises, like, that is not a question that you ask me. It is always top shelf.
Yeah, so she grabs the wet food and kind of pats him on the head. All right, here you go. I need to go take care of some stuff, but here you go. My house is your house.
The affection is not outwardly conveyed other than the snorts and the grunts of the cat as it falls into the wet food.
Yeah. All right. Have fun. Don't throw up.
There are no promises made from the cat.
Yeah. So she goes off to, she probably kind of almost jogs to the house because the rain. So.
Okay. So as you go in, where would your father's office be? First floor, second floor, basement? Is it?
Probably basement, considering that he kind of keeps it under lock and key. I imagine that's also, if he has weapons, he has them in a weapon safe at that point too, to keep it out of the way.
Okay. Then as you go down into the basement, his office is not locked. And it has one of those kind of subterranean half windows that are high on the wall it's open. You can hear the rain from the outside. It's not big enough for a human to climb through or anything like that. It's ventilation more than anything else. But you see his office. This is probably a place that you've seldom visited. What are you looking for?
She goes straight for his desk to try to find any paperwork or information. She's, in her mind, she's kind of turned on her investigative brain and is trying to piece puzzle elements together and seeing that her father was there with George's dad in that situation. She's trying to play back the last few times, and Alta is one of the things that comes up for her, specifically around it being on multiple places. So she's looking for any reference to Alta, and also to the loop itself, if there's like anything obvious about the loop, whether it's confidential data or letters or anything like that.
Okay, roll me and investigate and take you already have an automatically 1 success from having 2 from your dream sequence.
Okay. 2 successes.
So that's a total of 3 successes.
Yes.
As you search around, you're looking for elements of what you had, looking for Alta, looking for things that might, Dr. Butts, anything that might pop up or kind of reflect into the information that you've gleaned the past couple days. You find that your dad's desk is strangely Spartan. You don't, you find paper clips, a few, a pen, a letter opener, things like that. But as you kind of open the large, what would be the file drawer on the lower side, when you open it up, you realize that it is flush to the top, and there is a keypad, like full QWERTY keypad in there with a green bar and a flashing green cursor when you pull it open. It seems that it was somehow not locked. That's what 3 successes get you.
This keypad is unlocked?
Keypad's unlocked, and the drawer itself that you pulled open was unlocked.
Okay, I guess we're opening to see if what's inside.
It seems like you have to type in a passcode.
Okay. I think that she's going to go back to her dream, or memory, really, August 15th, and type it into various digits in the order of, I think, month, day, year.
What's the year that you type in?
69, right?
It opens.
Was that the right one? Okay.
8/15/1969, yep. And it opens. Inside, all you see is 1 key on a key ring, and the key ring itself says Chat and Chew Storage.
She grabs the key, closes that up, and it's just like is it a plain key, or is there anything that stands out about it?
It's a small key, like a key that you would put into like a padlock, or it's one of those like small desk-sized keys.
Yeah.
But it does say Chat and Chew Storage. You would know that the Chat and Chew is a restaurant in town.
Didn't know that they had storage, I guess. That's weird. Okay. Is there anything else around the room that stands out to Shannon?
Nothing that strikes a particularly like it's something that shouldn't be there. But as you kind of stand and as our camera spins a bit and you're looking at the key, you hear a from up at the window that's open, and this kind of wet head pops in with tufts and a little bit of food around like the kind of the point of the jaw of the chin, and Kismet sticks his head in and his eyes go wide, and he has 1 blue eye and 1 brown eye like he always has.
Enjoy your dinner. Midnight snack, rather, but okay. Well, then. We'll get out of the rain. Come on.
And he leaps into your arms. And from there, our camera trades places with Kismet, and as the cat leaps to Shannon, our camera goes back out and into the Garrett air as we begin to circle. And everybody, if you could cue up a little Valley Road by Bruce Hornsby and the Range, I will ask the rest of my players, where have you been? What are you doing? If you are playing, you're currently in school unless you're playing hooky, as this is roughly 1:30, 1:45 on Tuesday afternoon. Shannon was at home.
George skipped, so he definitely played hooky on Monday, but his mom found out, and he had to come up today. But over the weekend, George definitely he was nowhere to be found. He was definitely doing some anger management out in the woods.
Then you would be in your last period of the day in Miss Diaz's Spanish class. What about the rest of us? Jerry, Mitch, Rob, where are you?
Rob probably took off last period so he could go to work at the paperback exchange because he was tasked with working there now. He didn't even have to apply; they just hired him, told him he had to work. So not
Yeah,
that he
great
was
references. Yeah.
not that he would complain or anything. But yeah, Rob is sweeping floors.
Let's put a pin in Rob for just a second. We're going to say, Rob, you got out of school a little bit early as you have work study, and so
Yeah.
your last period of the day can be spent going to a job if you wish, and so that's where you are. Jerry and Mitch, let's place you.
Jerry has probably been spending, his daylight hours trying to be as normal as possible. Veronica's missing. And he's kind of the guy that's always been wrapped up in all of the crap. Questioned by the police and like issues with the police, and so he's playing it real casual and trying to maintain a normal lifestyle so that he's not a suspect in anything. Of course, in the evenings he's been at Teletran, like with his friends and whatnot, but yeah, just going to class, failing, the usual.
Then we're going to say that you are also spending your last period of Tuesday, October 11th, 1988, in Miss Diaz's Spanish class. Mitch?
Mitch doesn't qualify both grades and because of the academic probation of definitely not stealing anything and definitely not being punished for the rest of the school year to qualify for the work release program. So he too is stuck at school, even though he would like to be anywhere but.
Okay, with that fantastic segue, Mike, of anywhere but, I will say that Mitch and Jerry, this is the first time in this week that you've been in the same class near enough to George as far as the assigned seating in Mrs. Diaz's class goes to initiate any type of conversation with this member of your group. We found out last time that there were some questions to George's loyalties as far as how the enemy knew him, knew a specific name to call him, and you haven't had a chance to address that with George since. Do you try to do that during class?
I don't think Mitch has been informed yet. But what he does do is he, in typical note-passing fashion of the most skill variety, he crinkles up a piece of paper and then throws it at Butts.
Roll a force.
Hoping that he'll get the hint. Force. Let's see what happens here. 1 success. 0 successes. I lied. I can't read.
The wind catches it and it lands on Jerry's desk. As luck would have it.
Equally fine.
What does it say?
If Jerry opens it up, it says, "Saw Shannon talk to Dutch and me. Bad guys? Question mark. That's it.
It's not written in Spanish either, I'm assuming.
Jerry will fill
Mitch
it
can't
out
speak
with
Spanish.
They're alive and like flick it back.
Roll me a force.
We're getting detention immediately.
I was ready for this. It's one success.
It gets back to Mitch.
Yes. Underline. He throws the paper back.
This time I'll ask you to roll a sneak.
Of course you will. Oh, you know what, Greg? I know why I'm rolling so bad. Have we, since it's been several days, do we still have conditions?
You do not have conditions
Okay.
anymore. All conditions should be reset.
Sneak. 2 successes.
Your cough is understood to be one of allergy or...
I mean, I'm basically a spy, so yeah, it's totally fine.
Right.
And he launches this ball back.
Without the need for a roll, George, you would realize that there is a note being passed between Mitch and Jerry. If there's anything you want to say or do about it, feel free. What is it again? What does this note say as it reaches Jerry?
It just says yes, underline.
Okay. Jerry, what would you like to do is you have confirmation that...
They're alive.
Yeah.
I think Jerry will give Mitch a thumbs up. Yeah. And then... Butts. Hey, Butts.
Roll a sneak.
But
2 successes.
Somehow this works. and George, you do hear the very subtle the Machiavellian plan of Jerry hatched expertly as he is able to ask you to look at him.
Spanish class, so he's like, "Culo."
Look over here.
I'm trying to. What?
I think realizing that he can't get away with this a whole lot with a full conversation, he'll just give George that look that's like, what the fuck?
George, roll me a comprehend to see if you are able to glean that Jerry's normal expression has switched to a what the fuck.
He looks the same as usual to me.
He looks the exact same, and that's canon. So Jerry's what the fuck face looks like Jerry's resting what the fuck face.
He just mouths Espanol.
wow.
Miss Diaz looks back and hears Espanol and goes back to the board. She turns around and continues to conjugate. While the three of you are involved in this incredible bit of espionage, our camera goes outside across the street, since the paperback exchange is very close to Braddock High School. And Rob, as you walk up to the retail kind of strip mall area and go up to the paperback exchange, you see that there is a sign on the door.
What's that sign say, Greg?
It says closed. Going back to Yasgur's farm.
Well, that's Rob's luck. He just got a job and the place closed down. He's gonna check to see if he's gonna knock and see if maybe she's still there, or test to see if it's unlocked.
Roll me and investigate. You kind of look inside the glass in the display case. You can see kind of through the display case and through what would be kind of the front window into the actual establishment. It takes you a bit as it's kind of, your breath is fogging it up because of the cold weather out, the colder weather out. But as you look, you kind of get a momentary, the lights are off, and it takes a little bit of the ambient light from the street to kind of creep in. But you see that there's a trail of comic books going from the front desk back to the back room.
Yeah, he's gonna knock on the door. Yell, Maggie.
No signs of human life inside.
Oh, human life. I like how you accentuated that. Let's
Always here.
Yeah, let's go check around the back door.
Sure. you were able to get back to what is basically where they receive their shipments when they come in. This door is open, but roll me an investigate as you do so, if you decide to open.
1 success.
How do you open the door if that's what you decide?
Got 2 answers in my head. One of them is carefully, and the other one is with my hands. So carefully with my hands.
Yeah, you can combine them, sure. As you slow it open, kind of creak open the back door, you realize that there are wet footprints right at the threshold. You're unsure, though, whether they're coming or going or both.
Do I see where is the trail of comic books is going? Does it lead outside?
It looks like from your position, as you kind of look into the back, which would be the office of Miss Maggie, that they don't appear to come back this far. It must lead either right to the back room or kind of veer off at some point that you didn't see. But there isn't a trail that extends this far back. There's just kind of, it's replaced by these wet footprints.
Rob's going to go into secret agent mode and kind of squat walk and like go up against the wall, try to make his way towards the front to see if he can catch up with the end of this magnificent trail of comic books, see where it leads to anything particular.
Sure. Yeah, roll me a sneak as you creep into this area.
2 successes. Well,
yeah, the group is rolling ninja-like tonight. As you get to the beaded entryway that marks the delineation between the back office and the front retail space, you're able to kind of part the beads and look out, and you can see that the wet footprints continue. And it's only when you get out into the retail proper that you realize that the comic books kind of come down and curl almost like a fish hook right in front of the door. And one footprint stands out as if someone stepped directly on a comic book, and you realize that it's a massive footprint.
Yeah,
it's huge.
I was gonna ask if it was like a person foot or a large foot.
It's a person foot, but you're talking like size 18. Roll me an investigate.
Shaquille O'Neal is taking over the paperback exchange. 1 success.
As you look, and there's a decidedly almost like a medieval quality to the paperback exchange. As you kind of look over and you see the dark lights, there's that smell of incense is gone. So the overriding smell is that of old books, and now the smell of kind of rain and moisture. And as you look over the shelves filled with their long boxes of back issues, your eyes come to rest on the trail that's going from 10 yards in front of you at the checkout all the way back to where you are. And you realize that these comic books don't have any type of, it's not the X-Men, it's not Superman, it's not Wonder Woman. But as you look, you can read, as the light glows from the outside and illuminates the inside, it says, Robimus Prime, you shouldn't be here. And as you look down at the one with the footprint on it, a wind from nowhere blows it open, and you see a red balloon.
Can I see who wrote this?
It looks like a chaotic hand, done in some type of paint or marker, but they've defaced whatever these comic books were.
So it's not like DC or Marvel or someone who...
You can't tell. It's almost like the covers have been taken off, or it's kind of written on a blank cover. It's odd. You're not sure if these even fit the description of comic books. You could open one if you want.
Yeah, I'm gonna bend down. He's gonna bend down to pick one up, and also in his best detective mindset, he's gonna dab his finger in one of the footprints and taste it.
Roll me a comprehend.
Kind of nervous. 2 successes.
Not only can you tell that it tastes like cotton candy, you can tell that it tastes like blue cotton candy.
Okay, I was really hoping you were going to be like, it's just water. And I was going to say, yep, it's water. Okay. Now, after he does that, he's going to open the book and look.
When you open up the comic book, roll me a move.
Ooh, 0.
You open up the comic book and something red fills your vision and smacks you in the face. And as you pull back, you see a balloon rise up from inside the comic book. Its exterior having forced itself against you as you opened it up, and it floats about halfway up in the paperback exchange and lazily circles. And it's following the same path of comic books that are laid out, up and back. Roll me an investigate.
Okay, 0.
It takes you a second, another, a third, before you can hear the sound of a calliope playing somewhere.
Give me 1 second while I Google what a calliope is.
You get that.
Yes.
I didn't put on the Spotify playlist, everybody. Sorry.
Yeah.
That old chestnut.
Calliope Jams 012.
Right.
02. Well, Rob has no sense of danger when it comes to clowns. He's not really scared of clowns. He's scared of this situation because this isn't a situation where clowns should be. Yeah, he's gonna say hello and try to follow wherever the noise goes. I'm playing into this stereotypical horror movie
Sure.
dumb guy right now.
I will let you know now, because you had some successes there early on. Failure at this point will result in a condition, just so you know.
Got 2 luck. Let's do this.
All right. As you kind of fall back into the stacks that you're not really used to at the paperback exchange, if you stay more in the comic area, it's in the main area, and then it has almost a library feel as it kind of weaves around in fiction, nonfiction. Roll me an investigate.
One success.
By the way, everybody, I'm sure don't have to tell you what the corruption bar means. With your 1 success, as soon as you kind of go into the stacks, you see these large prints, these shoe prints on the ground, and they seem to be going deeper. But you can smell incense now. You think you can hear the clink of crystal, which usually is indicative of all of the ones that Miss Maggie wears.
All right. You know what? It's time to call in the squad. Rob's going to try to dig through his backpack and pull out his Michitaki.
Sure.
Mitch.
And I believe, is it Michigan?
Michigan.
Your Michitaki roars to life. Mitch here?
Nope.
Go for Mitch.
I think I've got the wrong number.
Oh, I think you might have the right one, Rabimus Prime.
All right, Will Jack. Thinking, in case it's Mitch playing the joke.
How can I help you? You need something to eat?
Yeah, can you get Jerry for me?
Do you want to eat Jerry?
Who is this?
It's your old buddy Mitch. Ow!
You sound different, Mitch.
I had a good breakfast.
I just wanted to say hi.
And from your closed Mitchy talkie, you hear, hi.
I'm sorry, Mitch. He's gonna drop the Mitchy talkie and like pretty much like a cartoon, just and just take off out the door.
Is he
Roll
going
me
to
an investigate.
run?
Yeah. Roll. Oh, I got a 0, but I'm gonna use my luck here. Got a 1. Whew.
So for a minute, panic overtakes you as you turn and start running down the stacks to get out of the paperback exchange. But with your investigate roll, as you turn and start to run, you realize that this row is a lot longer than you remember it.
Oh.
You can see that as you turn and run, it's maybe 50 yards long.
Rob's gonna look behind him and say, "Rob's to make sure nobody's coming after him."
Roll me another investigate.
Oh. 2 successes.
As you're running and you look behind, you don't see anything. You don't see anybody, but you see a large footprint, and they begin to appear about 15, 20 feet behind you, and they begin to slap on the ground as they run down the linoleum of the paperback exchange and matching you stride for stride. But let's cut away from Rob. And let's go back over to Braddock High School. Mrs. Diaz's class is just letting out as the bell rings, and she turns around and saying, adios to everybody as you're leaving, making sure that everybody has their homework. She's indicating on the corner of the board where the homework is written to continue the conjugations that you started today in class. And you all have this moment to leave Braddock and the class of Miss Diaz. There's nothing else at all going on in the town of Garrett. What would you like to do?
Panic as a
George
free
gets up
action?
fast and just books it for the door.
I think Jerry's on his heels.
Each of you roll a move for me.
Mike, I have a question for you. Is that suspicious? Like, is this like if we have this class together all the time? Is it common for George to sprint out of classes?
It's a free. Actually, it is a little bit suspicious because this is Miss.
Right. That's what I'm. Yeah.
Miss Diaz here.
Right.
We're talking about prime stakes. So
right. So you running out of Miss Diaz's class is a little sus.
Running. He's exiting with a without hesitation.
Okay.
Because you both rolled one success, George, you're still in front because you initiated the sprint. Jerry had to react to catch up with you, but you're maintaining the separation of 5 to 10 feet, just out of like grabbing distance. Mitch, do you
Uh,
continue to run, or do you
Mitch
do
is
anything?
confused why everyone's running out of the room. I get that it's last period, but also I think he grabs what makes for his bag and then quickly grabs the crumpled up ball of paper off of Jerry's desk because he left it there, and then stuffs it in his pocket and then kind of joins the throng of people exiting out of the door to find George and Jerry.
Okay. You can see them running in whatever direction George is running as Jerry is following. So you can give chase. You are a distant third, but George, where are you running?
Far away. No, he's running to the bikes. He's just trying to leave premise, and that's about it.
Okay. You quickly are able to bypass locker, things of that nature, and you go down the front staircase and out through the big like 8 sets of double doors or 4 sets of double doors. You explode out, and there's the large like staircase in front of you. You may keep running to your bike or to other points. There's a light rain falling.
I think Mitch is chasing after it and just like, what? Jerry! But! Jerry! But! Trying to get someone's attention.
Keep up.
I'm trying!
He's got those little boy legs.
I do.
Yeah, I keep going. I don't look around.
Okay. Jerry, you can follow George for as long as you like. We're not going to keep rolling move rolls because George is able to, he maintained a distance. You can trail him for as long as you wish to. And Jerry, wherever you're going, if Jerry's still with you, he's trailing you. Mitch, you're in the distant third. I will ask Shannon, with the revelation that you found in your dad's desk, the key with the storage unit for the chat and chew, what did you do in the interim? We'll say that was probably about an hour ago. So any type of decision you make will kind of fast forward you to where you would be in that 60 minutes.
She first went into the garage that her room is above and looked for any weapon, like blunt force object of some kind that she can bring with her, and she's gonna go find the storage unit.
Sure. What would be the blunt force trauma implement of choice for Shannon?
Well, this is kind of the pseudo mechanic garage where they worked on cars and motorcycles and all that stuff. So,
Right.
Large wrench or tire iron, anything along those lines, probably.
I was going to say definitely a tire iron would probably have the most heft to it
Yeah.
as far as being kind of top heavy. You can definitely have that. I'll give you like a great big hammer if you want one. You do have a fully operation machine shop that you talked about before.
Mhm.
So you may take anything like that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think tire iron because it's versatile and yeah.
Yep.
And she grabs her bag and kind of like puts it through the upper loop so that the hook part is kind of holding to the top of the bag, the backpack, and tosses it on, and goes for the keys to her bike.
All of those are right where you left them. Your bike is right where it needs to be. I have one question, and I'm pretty sure I know the answer, but just to make sure,
Mhm.
did you go back and retrieve or attempt to retrieve the dog tags that were left by the fallen motorcycle?
I would have, but I don't know. Like that would be as far as she went because she was too scared to go all the way to where things happened. But I don't know if she found anything there.
Normally there are two on a dog tags. There are 2 sets of tags.
Mhm.
One of them remained and the bike was not there.
Which part was missing of the dog
Uh,
tag?
The medical information side, the one that has the name and the medical information, but like the serial number and the personal
Mhm.
information one was left. So you have the chain with the personal information on the tag.
Okay. Yeah, she would have had that at that point. She's got it with her as well.
Okay. What's your destination as soon as is there any thought of joining up with the others, or is this a solo mission for?
I think Shannon's still really upset And unless anybody tried to contact her during the 3 days, she's in the mindset right now that nobody is going to help her. So she'd probably go solo unless, like I said, there would be contact, or if she passed by somebody or whatever else it is on the way. But she's going to Chat and Chew to find out about the storage unit.
Gotcha. Well, let's leave it up to everybody else, not to take player agency away
Yep.
from Rob and Mitch and Jerry and George. Fellas, would anybody have attempted to contact Shannon in the, 2.5, 3 days since your last adventure?
Not from Georgia, at least. I don't know about the rest.
I don't think Jerry would have either.
If I say yes, do I not get to be in clown area anymore?
That's not up to me.
Oh, then no.
I feel like Mitch reached out to everyone with little success, because that's Panic Mitch. He would have attempted to call everyone back to Teletran, especially when he went there and found Veronica just there and was very annoyed by it. He would have tried to get everyone back, but I assume no one came.
Shannon definitely wouldn't have.
I was going to say, she barely responds to the Mitchy Talkie to begin with.
Yeah, as it is, yeah.
I think Rob would have. Rob would have shut up.
Okay. So then Rob's probably the only person I've seen outside of Teletran.
Solo it is.
Yeah, we would say, though, that Shannon, you would have probably received kind of attempts at contact.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not you responded, that's as stated by Mitch.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're
Solo.
riding for the Chat and Chew. Okay.
Yep.
That will take you through town, but let's see. Who knows?
Yeah. You never know.
If somebody sees or whatnot. Okay, as you all are running out, George, what is your general direction when you are leaving school? North towards your house, east towards like the Chat and Chew, south towards the Tradewinds Trailer Park, west towards California?
California doesn't sound bad to him right now, but no, he's gonna head back to the general scrapyard direction.
Okay, down towards Teletran. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you are all quickly going in that direction. Jerry, Mitch, if you want to stop and get your bikes, I will allow that. If George, you want to say you ran to the bike rack and like grabbed your bike and took off, I'll allow you to kind of do that without getting caught by Jerry. Totally up to you. Or you can hoof it. Totally up to you.
No, I'm definitely gonna ride my bike. It's a nice bike. I don't want anybody to take it.
You're all riding your bikes. Each of you roll me an investigate. It will require 3 successes, whatever I'm asking you for.
Jeez, that's not gonna go well. 0.
In total or for all 3?
You said 0, right?
He did say 0.
George said 0. I said you'll need 3 too. Yeah.
We got 3 zeros.
Yeah.
What does that do?
That means as you all ride by, you are all intent on looking in the direction of George, and you don't look up towards the paperback exchange where Rob's bike is leaned up against the front. You just pedal right on past that shit.
Sorry, buddy.
Damn it. You were supposed to be.
Oh, no, I can't be the only one pantomiming this, you guys.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so as you are riding south towards Teletran 2, let's cut to Teletran 2. And all we see is Veronica wearing an oversized Braddock High School sweatshirt with the hood pulled up. There's music coming from beneath the hood. It's muffled. You can't really hear it. We can, though. And it is Paper and Fire by John Mellencamp. So cue that one up for me, please. As she is sitting there listening to that, kind of rocking back and forth, there is an unopened sandwich wrapped in kind of wax paper at her feet. As described in the narrative, she is very attractive, even in this state, but she just seems to be not catatonic, but kind of concentrating. And as the camera slowly pans through the cab of Teletran 2, we see a wide-eyed Ben McKenzie just staring at her, as he has been for the last hour. On Tuesdays, Ben has to go see the court-ordered social worker that's maintaining his situation with the Sarge, making sure everything's okay. And then he has the afternoon to himself, in which he's supposed to get ready for his his paper route. He quickly delivered his papers and did not go to his social worker appointment today, so he could be back here to help Veronica and bring her food. But instead of being able to talk to her, Ben simply stares. And then we cut back out to everybody riding their bikes. Let's go inside the paperback exchange, everybody. And Paper and Fire doesn't cut it. Let's turn off Paper and Fire. Sorry, John. Sorry, Cougar. And I think the only thing that really works here is let's do a little cry little sister down towards the bottom. Roll me another move, Rob. As you kind of slide around the corner, you finally make it to that 50-yard edge, and there is another. You continue to run as you hear these slaps coming closer and closer and closer. And with each slap, at first it might be comical, but it seems that the sound gets deeper and deeper and deeper. And you hear, at first it sounds like a horn. As it continues to match the cadence of whatever is following you.
2?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You're able to, you don't think it's catching up to you. You seem to still be maintaining your distance, but ahead of you is 100 yards of books.
Okay, and I'm gonna duck into a what do they call it? The lane between the books thing.
Okay.
Alcove, aisle.
Yeah, aisle. There you go. I'm gonna kind of duck behind one of the bookcases in the aisle and wait till I hear it get close to me.
Everybody turn off all the music. You jump behind the alcove and stop, and the pounding and the honking from behind you stops as well. You don't hear a thing. Boo. And you see a face kind of explode around the corner, and all you see is a flash of white. What do you do?
I feel like Rob's fight or flight is fight first. So I think if it scares him, he's gonna like and throw a punch. But not like, nothing with any force behind it, just like a reactionary, like, I could have dropped my croissant. Like just a swing.
Roll me a force.
0.
Did you want to spend luck or push?
Yeah, I want to spend my last luck. Big money, no whammies. Yep, nope, nope, not a lucky boy.
As the fist comes out, you still can't see features. You just see this blur of white, and you feel a hand go over your wrist, and you hear, it's almost like the face is around the corner still, but you see this hand pop up wearing a big puffy red sleeve, and it grabs you by the wrist, and it says, "I bet this little piggy went to market." And you feel your pinky finger break. I need you to get the condition scared. Shannon, roll me an investigate check.
Okie dokie.
Just leaving me like.
Did that click? There it goes. 2 successes.
That's 2 successes, Shannon. And again, just because I have to remind you, if you spend your pride here, that will give you an automatic success. You can also push the roll and re-roll anything that wasn't a 6. You need 3. You have 2. Pride
I'll
gives you an.
use-
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll use a pride. It says I never back down, so
As you rev your motorcycle through Main Street, for whatever reason, you cast your head to the left and your eyes are drawn to two things: the bicycle of Robot and a sign on the door that says closed. And as you're looking, you're not sure why, but you see Rob's bike tilt and fall over off its kickstand.
suspicious. Shannon will make a detour.
Rob, roll me a move. You rip your hand free and are able to continue your flight if you wish. Whatever you'd like to do, your hand is free.
Probably scream in pain. Is there a window or anything nearby?
You know that there's a huge window that's basically the whole top half of the front of the store, but you're back in the stacks, wherever the hell this is. There's still about 25 yards until you can make a turn.
Yeah. Rob's gonna scream, "What are you?" as he turns to run.
Shannon, just as you turn your motorcycle off, as you kind of roll up to the front of the paperback exchange, roll me and investigate.
Okie dokie. 3 successes.
You hear clear as a bell, "What are you?" as Rob is screaming in pain and then says that.
Oh. Well, guess I'm grabbing
Everybody-
the tire iron.
Cue up Cry Little Sister again. No, you know what? Give me a little Dare by Stan Bush right here, since I heard tire iron.
Yeah.
Shannon, what do
Yeah.
you do?
She leaps off the bike and like goes and grabs it, and she's like, does she recognize it as Rob's voice?
100% Rob with 3 successes. It's Rob, and Rob sat. You can even hear the pain in Rob's voice as Frags described it. He yelled out in pain and then started to run again. You hear the pain in his voice.
Okay.
Something
She
that
doesn't
Rob
even
doesn't.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't even think. She just storms in, like tries to get into the paperback exchange. She's just like full force forward. She has no idea what the threat is, but
The front door's locked. You feel it locked.
window?
The window doesn't open.
No, but she has a tire iron.
Option B.
Then let's cut
Bash.
into Rob. Rob, you're running. You hear the slaps behind you. And all of a sudden, the books to your right explode into glass as you see glass kind of go in front of you. And Shannon is standing there. What do you do? As all of a sudden you are in the front of the paperback exchange. The stack's gone. Your position moved to this area.
How big is the wall? Like, can I grab her?
Yeah, it's only about 3 feet high. It's like a chair rail height.
Okay. He's gonna grab her as he's trying to climb out the window. It's behind me. It's behind me.
She like grabs him by like where the forearm is and like pulls him out.
Okay.
What's behind you? What?
Each of you roll a force here.
Yep.
Let's just say you need a specific total success here.
Okay.
Push the roll. Push the roll. I might do it. I think I'm gonna push the roll.
Well, you got 1. I got 0. Is this
Yeah, I know.
total added, or each one of us needs?
It's combined. You need a combined 3.
Push it. Push the roll. Another one for me. Or is that not together? Is it just one?
I count them all together. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Wait, what was the force? Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Another.
Fuck,
0.
man.
0.
I need you to take another condition. Let's see. Which one do I want to give you? You had scared. Let me think about it. mark yourself down for another condition right now. Scared and let's put exhausted in. You've been running around.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Um,
Honestly, yeah.
as Shannon pulls you out, you feel two hands wrap around your shoes. What shoes does Rob wear?
They're gonna be just like Converse canvas shoes.
You feel the laces sunder on your canvas shoes. And as Shannon pulls you free, Shannon, you feel it's almost like Rob is your fishing pole and you feel something on the line and you yank, and Rob, you come all the way out, but you come out barefoot. As you hit the ground, your shoes belong to someone else now.
Something.
You're outside. It's raining. Nobody has noticed that the front window of the Paperback Exchange has been busted in. It's Garrett, Maryland. No one expects violence. Right.
It's fine.
Is
Freak accident.
Is it coming? Is it
Okay, relax. What's okay?
He's gonna hold up his hand to show her his L bent pinky.
She like grabs him by the wrist and looks, and she's like, "Okay, well," she just like doesn't complete her sentence, grabs him and like grabs him to the bike and revs it up. Let's go. You can explain on the way. We don't have time.
Yeah, he's gonna hold on loosely, but he's not gonna let go.
It's very special. Okay, so is the destination still the Chat and Chew? Now that you have Rob Ott with you, having saved him from
is there a pharmacy on the way?
Sure,
pharmacy first.
Steve's Pharmacy. Let's just go with that.
She'll pull up to Steve's. I'll be right back.
Okay, and let us cut to everybody else as you run in. Our camera swings back down to the south. Teletran 2, George, you make it wherever you're going in that direction. You said you're headed south towards that area, but where is your destination? Once you reach Teletran 2, do you stop or continue to other points?
No. Well, yeah, I stop in the general area, and I think I have a metal pipe or some sort of club that I keep hidden there.
Yep.
So I grab that, put it on my handlebars because I, fit it across, and I start on my bike again. But I don't know if Jerry and Mitch catch up though. That's the intent.
I think while we're chasing, Mitch is trying his best to catch up still in third, and there's just a panting, "Why are we chasing butts?" as he's yelling towards Jerry.
Remember how I said we were screwed if one of us was a robot?
Yeah.
I think one of us is a robot.
I thought Veronica checked him.
Different kind.
What other kind of robots are there?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think they're just trying to catch up.
Okay. George, they're not going to catch you until you stop. Where do you stop?
I stop at the little makeshift shed, if you will, that's outside.
Yep.
That's where I keep my
your
tool of
victims?
destruction.
Yep.
No, not my victims. Mitch gets my victims.
Okay, so yeah, you get there and you're able to lay your bike down. Jerry, you're close enough where you can see anything that George would do. You're not so far removed that you kind of stumble upon a fallen bike or something. You can actually see him get off his bike, head into the shed or whatever it is you do, George. So Jerry, just keep that in mind. Mitch, you can see what Jerry's doing. What do you ultimately do, Jerry, now that you've made it to the shed?
I think, the bike comes to a skidding stop on the gravel, and he just drops it and keeps moving just a few paces before he sees George go into the shed. He's like, "Hey, I just want to talk."
Then talk.
This is quickly followed by, I don't know what we're doing.
Why
You're a
did he
robot?
call you Shockwave?
What?
I don't know, man. I thought he was talking about you. And then he clearly was talking about me.
That's a bad robot. That's a bad robot name.
That's what I'm saying.
I,
Is it? I don't know, man. I don't know Transformers.
Look, you were gone.
Yeah, I didn't show up to class on Monday. Sorry. Didn't know you missed me that much, Jer Bear.
I don't trust you.
Based off of what? Some words? What have I done this entire time? I've had your back, I've had Mitch's back, I've had Shannon's back, I've had Rob's back. But you don't have my back right now.
but are you a robot?
No.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
That's it?
I mean, yeah, man. Like, Veronica did the thing with the thing, and like, he's been alright so far. What do you want me to do? Zap him?
No. Well, you know that thing we've long established that we always do and is real important to all of us? Let's pinky swear.
He's right. That's the thing we do. If you pinky swear that you're not a robot, then you're not a robot.
Because all of us have functioning pinkies.
Yeah. Fuck me.
God damn it.
I hate you right now.
But you know the deal. If you break a pinky swear, Jerry gets to just wail on you.
He can try. And I just get on my bike and I start pedaling towards the forest.
Now it looks way suspicious, man. You didn't do the thing. And then... Oh, fucking.
You gotta get it, Butts.
Come
You
on.
hear the gravel, and Ben runs around the corner. What did I miss? What happened again?
I don't know, man. I think Butts is a robot, maybe. He said he wasn't, but then he wouldn't do the pinky
What?
swear that we all do. We all do the pinky swear, and he wouldn't do the...
Do we do pinky swears?
Yeah, we always do. It's fine.
Okay.
Since like 86. It's like a whole thing.
Okay.
I don't know, Ben. I don't trust Butts, and we need to figure out what's going on. They called him Shockwave.
Shockwave's bad.
Who called?
Yeah.
Wait, what? What's happening right now? Who called who Shockwave?
The guy who took Veronica.
Who took Veronica?
The guy.
I didn't
She's
see.
up. She's up in Teletran too.
Yeah,
I
only
know.
because we got her back.
Who took her? What happened?
Okay, last week,
Yeah.
right?
Uh-huh.
There was.
And we'll cut away as
Son of a
everybody's
bitch, Greg.
caught up. This is the recap continues.
Jerry
but we're
changes
gonna.
all the details.
You're pretty sure that the president is involved. Yeah. We cut back to the motorbike of Shannon Locke and Rob Ott as they are riding. And Rob, you said you hold on loosely, but you don't let go, correct?
Yes, but it's a loosely full embrace.
And as you embrace Shannon, you feel almost like a power, like a jolt of electricity, like you licked a 9-volt battery. It just licks and surges all through you as you ride. I need you to make a move roll to see if you can keep from hitting the brake of your bike.
Can I use my special item?
Absolutely, yeah.
Hello, roll 20. No, 3 successes.
Yeah, you release your hand before it kind of clenches so you don't pull the brake down. But as you do this, your vision kind of blurs, triples, doubles, goes back and forth between the road ahead of you and almost like a wire line graphic. Something you would see out of a video game with a distant point that kind of comes back and fans in these green lines. It's almost like a rudimentary video game. Something you would see in the very early days of the local arcade, the Dream Machine, and it goes back and forth between the road ahead of you and this wire frame of the road ahead of you. And in your ear, for a moment, thinking it's Rob, but then dismissing it, you hear, "Arise, Grimlock."
She like kind of tries to like lightly glance back at Rob and notices he's not talking. Slows down the bike and kind of pulls over to the side. By the way, I just want to note that Shannon first aid the broken pinky.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
You have like a splint on.
Yeah.
Shannon, roll me and investigate.
Yeah. Oh god. 3 successes.
Wow. With 3 successes, you realize the following. 1, 2 of your teeth appear to be much sharper than they were a second ago.
Okay.
And also, the world around you seems much brighter, even though it's completely overcast with this cold rain and no sun in Garrett, Maryland. The other thing you notice, you can smell the fear on Rob Ott. It smells like apples.
Apples. Okay. Okay. I think she kind of like fiddles with her mouth a little bit and like because she can feel them with her tongue and she's not really sure. And she doesn't turn around to Rob and she's like, okay, so tell me what just happened.
I went in the store to see if Maggie was okay because it looked trashed. There was books on the ground, and the back door was unlocked. And I followed the book, and I heard noises like a circus, and I tried to call Mitch on the talkie the radio, and he answered, but it wasn't Mitch. It was something else. So
The
so
thing that broke your finger?
I'm guessing. I had to run, but the hallway was way longer than it should have been, and it was behind me, and it had big feet, and I tried to hide, and then it stopped, and I tried to punch it because it got in my face. So I was trying to knock it out, and I I swung at it, and with like super human reflexes, it caught my hand and broke my finger.
Okay.
And then I ran, and then you showed up, and you were there for the rest.
Yeah. Okay. That's super weird, first and foremost.
No shit.
Right. Okay. Yeah. No shit. Sorry. I'm processing what just happened. Did you feel anything like different?
Yeah. He looks at his hand. My finger's broken.
No, not that. Like on the bike.
The vibrations. I'm sorry. That doesn't mean anything. I'm scared.
Okay, that's not what I meant at all, but okay. Let's just what do you want to do? Because I was kind of on my way to deal with something, and then I heard you screaming, so
It was more of a yell, but is what you're doing on the way to Teletran?
is Chat and Chew on the way to Teletran?
Sort of. You'd have to go a bit out of your way to the south to get to Teletran. Teletran 2 is way out of town.
Yeah. Kind of, sort of. It shouldn't take long. I just need to get to a storage unit.
Well, I can watch your bike.
Yeah, you could watch my bike, or you could go into the storage unit with me if you wanted to.
I'll wait at the door.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, it just, yeah.
Are you okay?
No.
Do you want a hug?
That would be nice.
Okay. Shannon reluctantly gives him a hug.
So as the two of the two friends hug, we go back up into the cold, rainy Garrett air, and we come back down to Jerry, Mitch, and Ben. And Ben goes, "Wow, that's a crazy story, Jerry," as everything has been recapped from last week.
Yeah, so like aliens, right?
But like Reggie? Like football Reggie?
Yeah. Yeah, like he was way stronger than me.
And Gary?
Gary.
The
That's
whole
what Veronica said.
time! But Gary...
She said he looked like he was made of tinfoil.
What if he's an Autobot?
I don't think he's an Autobot. Like,
We don't look like tinfoil.
yeah.
We're Autobots.
But we're like the human allies of the Autobots.
If Veronica doesn't look at us like that,
That's because we're not robots. Maybe there's a good robot?
why would he steal Veronica?
Reggie stole Veronica.
And then we're in the Energon.
Yeah. But you said that Butts just like launched Gary away. Why was Gary running if Butts was a bad guy? Maybe Butts is a bad guy and Gary was running to stop Butts. And then he launched him.
Listen, you gotta give up on Gary. I told you he's always been a dick.
Well, then if Gary is a bad guy, then Butts is a good guy. Why else would he turn around and try to stop Butts?
It's the double bluff.
Doesn't make any sense.
Ben, tell him about the double bluff.
The double bluff is when somebody says something, but they don't think about it and they don't believe it. And then the other person that sees it doesn't think about it enough to believe it themselves. And so it's kind of back to the way it was, but then it's wrong.
Double bluff.
Fuck you, Greg. So, they're both bad?
I think everybody's bad, but like, maybe just us.
Well, then if Butts is bad, he's going towards the tree.
Well,
The tree.
Van Halen's there. She could take Butts.
Except what happened to her after you left her with the Decepticons last year.
Ben starts running off in the direction of George. I'm not going to miss it this time.
Son of a... Damn it! And he takes off after Ben.
Yeah, I think Jerry will pick up his bike and follow after.
I'm so sweaty.
George, where do you end up, my friend?
Eating the shit out of Van Halen. No, he goes to... there's a particular part where there's small enough robots that you can actually beat them and they're rusted enough so they actually break, he goes there just to extracurriculars.
Okay. And as you're just wailing on these things, correct?
Yeah, like he's especially likes the ones that are just two legs and kind of like an AT-AT or an ATST.
Gotcha.
He likes just beating one leg out from under it, watching it fall, and then going to town on it.
As Ben and then Mitch and Jerry would kind of come upon the scene without the need for a roll to investigate, you would realize immediately that nobody that is simply beating these robots should be able to smash a leg off one of them. However, you see George as he swings and hits one of these legs, it bends oddly, the joint and everything kind of hyperextending as it crashes, rust driven, and even in this rain, a cloud of kind of debris rises from it into the wet air. But he is putting some impressive force behind this. George, what is the emotion, or Rhino, what's the emotion going through George as he's doing this? Is this calm or rage or?
At this point, it's a bit of both. It's still mostly driven by rage, but he's at the point where he's not yelling. And earlier in the weekend, so Sunday and Monday, there was some tears behind it, but it's not today. Today he's at a point where he only feels anger. He doesn't feel anything else anymore. And he obviously knows that's wrong, knowing who his mother is and having been giving emotional guidance before, but that's not exactly an available resource anymore. So that makes him so that kind of feeds it as well, and that's what keeps it ongoing.
So it's focused. It's like,
yeah.
Okay.
Meticulous, even.
Amazing. I love that description. Shannon, roll me and investigate, please.
One success.
You can smell this. Even from the distance, you can smell this rage, this focused, driven energy. It's whereas the smell of apples came from Rob with the fear that was associated with it. This smells like burning metal, like a blacksmith shop. This is driven and hammered anger, and it's being focused into something right now. It is palpable. You can almost taste like the soot and the fire behind it. And you also know that it's coming from George.
Oh, if she knows it's coming from George, she immediately, can she figure out where he is based on the smell?
Yeah, you can follow him. Even he had just passed through this area, but this is kind of combining with that.
Yeah.
So you can follow the 2
Yeah.
or 3 minutes out of your way to get to. And we're just going to say that, as this happens, you all kind of congregate around George, within about 30 seconds of one another, because Shannon's on a motorcycle. So Rob and Shannon appear, George is already there. Jerry and Mitch and Ben kind of ride up, and you see these strikes, these like Thor driven strikes as George destroys these sundered and fallen robots.
I think
Shannon hops off. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Shannon's gonna hop off, drop her bag on the ground, and start marching over to George with a purpose.
I think Mitch isn't really reacting to this version of Butts because Mitch and Butts have been here all summer, and as far as Mitch knows, Butts has been doing this and dragging the carcasses of robots back towards Teletran so that he has parts to work on. So this is just everyday Butts at this point. And I don't think he realizes that it's like he's destroying these things with superhuman strength. What is happening?
I told you.
What? Hi, Shannon.
Look how strong.
She ignores everything and starts going closer to
Okay.
George.
I don't know if we're just not friends anymore.
He's a Decepticon.
No one answers my walkie-talkie calls. Hey, Rob.
Ben looks at George and says, "Seems like he's upset, guys." And he starts to kind of like walk towards George.
Yeah, he's been real mopey all summer long, just breaking robots like a crybaby. I don't know what his deal is. Sometimes we have sandwiches.
Rob, through the pain of your finger, through the, I would say, the cold in your feet, your bare feet, beyond all of that, you hear in your ear, Rob, trust. And that's it.
Rob's gonna take a deep sigh. Now, Shannon, are you at Butts? Did you beeline for Butts? Or
I
are
beeline for him. Yeah, she is like with a purpose. She's got a lot of emotions right now that she's not able to keep in check. So unless somebody stops her getting to him, she's beeline.
Rob's gonna yell for you to stop. Just because, in his mind, it looks like you're going over there to try to punch him in the face.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he's kind of expecting. He's gonna yell, "Shannon, stop!" and then he's gonna yell, "Butts!" and walk over to him.
Does Shannon stop?
I'm gonna roll something. Maybe. Can I just roll straight heart?
Absolutely, yeah. Whatever you want. This is your call. Yeah, if you want to.
I just think if she's gonna be swayed by Rob
you want-
or not.
Do you want Rob to roll something?
Yeah, I can roll something.
Oh yeah, maybe actually lead probably.
Only need. Where is that? There it is.
I guess not.
Yeah. He's still scared. So
Yeah.
his
And it's
voice
still
his
your-
voice cracks.
Yeah, Meta, it's still your choice. I mean, I just,
yeah.
if you were
no,
given
I
a-
know.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, she doesn't stop. Does she still have that weird visual stuff going on and the smell?
Yep.
Okay. I think instinctually she's like, something's telling me something. So going for whatever the gut feeling is. And is Butts facing away or is he turned to the group at this point?
He hasn't
Right up.
stopped.
He hasn't stopped. Okay. She's gonna try to grab for his shoulder, like his jacket, like to hold on. Not quite grapple him, but like to get a handle on him so she can pull him towards.
I say from this point forward, anytime we have something, let's just roll competing force rolls right here.
Sure.
It doesn't matter about successes. The highest number
Yeah.
wins as far as succeeding in the action. Shannon, you put your hand on his shoulder.
Okay.
You can grab him and
Yeah.
attempt to redirect him.
Yeah. She'll kind of turn it. What are you?
And he's at this point, he's just, I don't know.
While this is happening, Rob is still walking that way. Like, he definitely wasn't walking with such a purpose like Shannon, but he was walking. In that
Your
direction.
father may have killed my father. You were with him last. You know what happened to him. Why is he still alive? What happened down
You have
there?
a better chance of telling me than I do you. I don't know. I don't remember anything.
That's impossible.
How do you know?
Do you not see what you're doing? And she kind of like look around you kind of thing.
Yeah, I've gotten pretty good at it.
Pretty good. Nobody human can do this.
I could do it.
As
Jerry
Jerry.
has lightning fingers.
he's also strong. I didn't do this with lightning though. Jerry could do it with his big muscles.
Just answer the question.
I did.
No, you said you don't know. That's not
That is
possible.
a valid answer.
So how do you know that you can do these things? Did you just one day pick up and say, let me smash some robots?
Yeah, did you wake up one day and decide to be a bitch?
At this, she just goes for a punch straight to his face.
Roll opposing forces.
Oh my god!
And
that's
as
great.
the
That was so
fist
good.
as the fist goes through the air, Rob, you get there.
Sorry, I had to refresh roll 20. I want to do that refresh trick. Force, you said?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, force, please.
All right, so everything's messed up there. Here we go.
Yep.
3.
You win.
Shannon, you connect fist to jaw, and George, your head moves and allows the fist to slip off your face. But Shannon, you feel like you just punched your bike.
Yikes.
You're not hurt.
Mhm.
Rob, you get there just as this sound of almost like a fist, Rocky hitting a side of beef. You hear that thwack in the water as one of your friends strikes your other friend, and George is staring at Shannon at George. Rob, what do you do?
Rob's gonna walk up to George and says, "You need this," and just grab him and give him a hug.
Everybody, why don't we cue up a little let's do a little I want a little Dreams right here from Van Halen, since we have Van Halen close.
I feel like at this again, Mitch just punches out at Jerry like explanation, please.
George, you felt the strike go across your face, and everything seems to fade away. And you seem to be standing on a beach. You see the waves kind of stretching out, but they are all, the water's all the color of that liquid that you went through in the pipes, the things that Reggie called the energon. And you hear from all around you at once, "My old friend, I do not have time to properly explain everything. Just know that all life in the universe is in danger. We Autobots are but a small cog, a possibility from one of an endless number of versions of the universe. The forces of evil and good have converged upon your hometown, drawn there by an event that will destroy all realities save one. Megatron means to rule the remaining reality, but his isn't the only evil at play. Megatron sought to turn you into his greatest weapon against us, but with the aid of the being known as Van Halen and your father, we were able to subvert his process. Instead of infusing you with the essence of the genocidal Decepticon shockwave, we were able to provide you with the spark of one of our greatest champions. Megatron must be stopped, no matter the cost. Good luck, my old friend, until the day, until all are one. Arise, Ultra Magnus." And that's where we'll end this session of Atari Twilight.
Son of a bitch!
Oh no!
Oh,
Oh,
fuck.
is he good? Is he bad? Suck it, guys. I'm metal.
You're like Optimus's brother.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't even know what to do with my hands.
Actually, it wasn't Ultra Magnus was like his
Military
commander of his
commander.
army.
Yeah, but like his mentor too. wasn't he?
Yeah. Holy shit balls, friends.
He had the tryout protocols, while Optimus had the Matrix of leadership.
We get it. You watched the show on Netflix.
I did.
Golly. Fucking. Well. Here we are. Episode 4 in the bag. I don't know what to feel right now with my whole body. Let's do our introductions. We'll get the hell out of here. We have a lot to discuss in the after show. If you guys watching would like to get your greedy little paws on the after show, it is on our Patreon at the $5 tier. It is well worth your dollars. We're going to get out of here, film that. But first, Meta, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, and what are you up to?
Hello, I'm Metamancer. You can find me on Twitter at the Metamancer. Yep.
That's it. Perfect. Great.
Yep.
Frags, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? What are you up to?
Yeah, my name is KW Frags, Kindle. Sometimes you can find me on Twitter, the same name. Yeah, and I'm just a hug machine, giving powers to everybody but Mitch.
I'm so glad too. I don't want to be hugged because it's so funny to not be. Bitters, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? What are you up to?
I'm Mr. Bitters. I hate everything. Don't find me on the internet. Just come to the Discord and discuss this atrocious monstrosity that I love so much.
Yeah, right. Ultra Magnus, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what are you up to?
You can find me on Twitter at BaloneySlap. I don't do a whole lot, so I'm going to follow Bitters here and say, follow Mike here, go to the Discord. That's where you're going to see me.
Hell yeah. And last but never least, Greg, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? What are you up to?
Oh, had a blast. Love these people so much. Incredible role players, each and every. Had some fun scenes, things that were going to be triggered. I wasn't expecting the paperback exchange and the dream sequence to be in the same episode, but I thought it was cool. I love everything about this game. You can find me here. You can find me on Laugh Love Lindy on Wednesday nights doing Witcher. I'm not on the internet or social media except for the unMadeGaming Discord, where you can find me in the Atari Twilight Writers Room, where we talk about this and all things 80s and fun, and potentially get together for some one-shots every now and again. So see y'all next week.
Hell
or
yeah.
in the Writers Room.
Again, if you guys like what we do here and you want to support the channel, Patreon, that's where you get the after.